I think two follow-up questions. I think the first part of my question was not answered, which is it cheating? Um, and then number two, my concern is, does it make us, for lack of a better word, dumber as a society if the mundane things, the formation of the ideas, I don't have to think about it. I could just ask an AI tool, like, tell me about this, and it just tells me. How do I format this? And it just tells me. Or write me a paragraph on this, and it just writes it. Is it taking away that process that you described? Because you are right, you can essentially use it in this way that y'all described it, but some of us are not going to use it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so I would say on whether it's cheating, that really gets at what Julia was saying is like, it depends what the point of the assignment was. If the point of the assignment was to go read the primary text and distill it into points yourself and you asked ChatGPT to do it, then that was cheating, right? So I think that, but part of this falls on, I think, the professors and the educators to design assignments that ChatGPT can't do, right? Or that you somehow prevent people from using it, right? And there's a whole host of ways that we could think about doing that. But I think in general, like, yeah, there's, I really don't worry about it making us dumber for this same reason. So I think, like, yes, you do definitely want to go to the primary, like, there's a value to going to the primary source, doing the critical analysis yourself, but it's already the case that for anything that we would be assigning to do that on in any of our classes, there's going to be a gazillion written texts that students are going and looking at that, right? Like I know in CS, people prefer to read blog posts over the original papers, often because the blog posts are clearer. In philosophy, and we do a lot of this in like linguistics and semantics, there's Stanford Encyclopedia of Philosophy, excellent resource, often my first stop, and then I go back and read the primary things to kind of prime it. So really depending on what you're trying to do, it's yet another tool for trying to help you get at the underlying information. I think we shouldn't be judging or deciding some ways of gathering information are better or worse than others, right? This society always moves forward and we advance, and new technology changes the way we do things. I would say most likely we're not going to get dumber. We're probably going to get smarter. There's this standing on the shoulders of giants kind of situation.
Right.
If you have to spend a ton of your time, I mean, what you're talking about, reading the primary source and critically thinking about it is excellent. Realistically, just having been a student myself and seeing how my students work, that's not how they're spending most of their time, right? They're spending their time, if they're doing this kind of research, that they'd be using ChatGPT instead. It's just like clicking through the pages of Google, trying to find the sources. There's some value in that, and you should do it sometimes, but a lot of the time that's not where you're doing the learning, right? You're just wasting a lot of time reading a lot of abstracts and trying to decide if something's relevant, going down a rabbit hole, determining it's not. If you free up the time from doing that, spend time thinking critically. Like, I think there's a lot of potential, right, yeah, to say basically, okay, we can do that stuff quickly, and now let's push it. Like, we do need a lot more time for this critical thinking, really analyzing stuff, going out and collecting new primary evidence, right? ChatGPT can't do that. It can't go be on the ground in Syria and do firsthand reporting. It can't run experiments in computer science, not yet. Yeah. So there's a lot of value to this.
I just want to make a point that you briefly alluded to. I think we, as instructors, we need to make sure that we create the right kinds of assignments. And I think many of the assignments that right now ChatGPT can just do easily, they're often bad assignments.
Right. If students have often been kind of BSing their way through them anyway, right?
Exactly. So now it's even easier. But if you make an assignment that actually is interesting, of interest to students, that is also in many ways applied, where they have to. I mean, in philosophy, we often do this. We talk about many different ideas, theories, approaches to a particular topic, and then what students are usually most engaged with, and where I think they learn most, is if they then get to apply this to their own, to some context that they can relate to, something that's happening at Brown, some case study, and these are the things that where they actually have to break down the ideas, where they can't really just string some sentences to each other and make something that sounds plausible, but they actually have to apply things, and these are the things that ChatGPT doesn't do very well right now.
Right.
Thank you.